So they just dropped another trailer in Japanese for Fire Emblem Engage, and just like with the previous one, I still don't know Japanese, but luckily for us, BenFM has got our backs, and he has translated it into English, the subtitles at least, so we can actually understand what is being displayed. But definitely check out his channel. He has a lot of Fire Emblem content. Definitely like and subscribe to him. As far as I can tell, he's a pretty cool dude. So let's check out this trailer now. This is the first time I'm seeing this, so I have not seen this yet. So it's for Corrin. Okay, so you can use the Ring of Fates, Corrin, take enemy actions. By taking hold of enemy actions and the terrain, you can control the battle. So that's interesting. So I'm curious to see what that entails. Okay, here we go. So we have a synchro skill, Dragon Vein, can apply various effects to terrain. Okay, so that's cool. So more terrain stuff. This is definitely something that's going to make this game stand out among other Fire Emblem games. Because most Fire Emblem games don't have like active tile manipulation. They have like some games have some tile manipulation, but that's usually not like a main feature of the game. Okay, so flying units can transform terrain into aroma tiles that have healing effects. Okay. Draconic units can choose any type of terrain freely, so that's crazy. So it looks like Wyvern Lord is still going to be meta in this game. They love them. They love their dragons. Unless they mean like Dragonkin or something, I don't know. Alright, so we got fire tiles, we've seen that. So these look like different tile types. So there's quite a few, so that's nice. Alright. Okay, here we go. Dual katana reverse the weapon triangle. Okay, so the weapon triangle's in the game. That's good. That's good to know. They kind of converted it into optional perks in 3 houses, so it's nice to see it's back in the game. So it just reverses it. Capable of breaking lances. As you'll receive breaks from axe enemies. I'm not sure what that means. It might just be like a translation type thing, but reversing the weapon triangle, that's really what we need to see. Maybe they're just describing if you have a lance and you're attacking an axe, it would, you'd get countered as per the weapon triangle's rule set. But if you use Corrin's ability, you would counter the axe instead. There's the break. Oh, is that what the break is? It's triangling someone? I just think of it as like triangling them. Like that's like a verb. Like, oh, if you're attacking an axe with a sword, you're triangling them, type of thing. Like as a strategy. In triangle strategy, we refer to that as the triangle strategy. Here we go. So her engage skill, because it seems to be female Corrin, is Heartseeker, which prevents the opponent as well as enemies within 1 tile from moving for 1 turn. Oh. So enemies within 1 tile. Okay, so like a plus shape then, right? So you can just like halt enemy formations. Yeah, it's like a plus shape. But it seems it's kind of like how Blessing is in 3 houses. This is like the formation of Blessing, where it's like, assuming it's point blank range, you hit a row of 3 and then a 4th. So this is actually pretty huge. Being able to AoE freeze groups of enemies, that's such a huge tactical upside, especially if they're melee units, because then you can just stay away from them for a turn and they're functionally dead. So that's really useful. Okay, here we go. Engage technique is Dragon Fang. Cannon attacks 3 tiles in 1 direction, then changes the terrain into puddle, avoid reduction tiles. So someone had mentioned this in one of the things that was in the trailer. I must have missed that, but so puddle is like -20 or -30 avoid, which is pretty nice. Attack enemies that have lined up, also making it harder for them to counterattack. Attack enemies that have lined up while also making it harder for them to counterattack. So I wonder how it makes it harder for them to counterattack. Is it because it's like a range attack? Reducing avoid makes them easier to hit, not necessarily makes them worse at counterattacking. I wonder if there's tiles that reduce hit accuracy as well. Like if you're in a tile, just reduces your accuracy. Because reducing avoid increases accuracy from your units on the things in the avoid reduction, but it doesn't increase their accuracy on you or whatever. Maybe it's difficult to counterattack because it's just like a board effect. Because like most board attacks, you can't counterattack. So like if you use a siege weapon on something, it can't counterattack that usually. Same thing, but like if someone uses meteor on you and you have retribution, you can counterattack that in 3 houses. So, yeah. So far this is looking good. I like that each ring does something different. I definitely enjoy that. All right, so the main takeaways are that you can switch. So based on the type of unit she's paired with, like that's equipping her ring, you can make different tiles. Or if you're a dragon, you can just make any tile type. So that's definitely interesting. Just like AoE tile effects, that could be good. And then of course you have your flipping the weapon triangle for like duels. So if you're, let's say your unit, now I'm hoping the way they made this is that like, you know, Pegasus Knights can only use like spears or something, like the old school system. So that way, if there's a map with a bunch of enemies with axes and you want to use that unit, you can still use that unit. You just flip the weapon triangle. And I'm curious to see if they're bringing back Reavers, like Lance Reaver, Axe Reaver, Sword Reaver. Because like Lance Reaver is a sword that counters spears, for example, like lances. So that's been, you know, in the game before. But maybe they don't have that, and instead they have like specific passives or, you know, certain abilities from these rings that kind of does that. The tile stuff is definitely interesting. Reversing the weapon triangle is interesting. Happy to see that that's back. The Heart Seeker that prevents movement, that's actually pretty good too. Stopping enemies is massive in a game like this. If you ever played on like if you ever did a maddening run in 3 houses and you like didn't allow yourself to do auxiliary battles or paralogs for grinding, and you did like Golden Deer, Encloser is like one of the best abilities because you don't have to kill what you're hitting, and it works on monsters and it prevents them from moving. So you just hit an enemy like a huge threat that you can't kill this turn with Encloser, move your team away from it and kill all the other threats, and you can buy time, and it's actually massive upside. So this will probably be one of the strongest parts of her kit, like of her abilities, like just freezing things. That's such a huge upside. The tile effects definitely are good as well. And of course, this like big attack that does damage and creates avoid reduction tiles is massive, like putting puddles. So that's huge. I am curious to see if you can shock the puddles. That's something I want to know. Like if they're gonna make this like, you know, other tactics games, but we'll see. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this video and about Corrin in general, about any of these abilities. And also check out BenFM. Like his video and subscribe to him as well. He is doing us all a huge favor because we don't have to wait for these to be translated now, because these translations are close enough that we understand what's going on here. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next one.